I want to point out a couple of things to you. I said I'm going to get some things off my chest, and I am. Trump killed Soleimani, the head Nazi, really, of the Iranian military. Trump was destroying the Iranian economy with brutal sanctions. The Iranians were rising up. They don't like that government. They don't like the Nazi government in Tehran. And they're now being mowed down, slaughtered, raped, imprisoned, God knows what, because of our current policies. Trump was Israel's greatest friend in the Oval Office ever. Can that be said of Obama or Biden? No. Biden reversed everything. Biden rebuilt the Iranian war machine. I'll prove it in a minute. I'm sure the reporters and others getting information from the Biden Pentagon and White House won't tell you this. No. I'll tell you this. Biden rebuilt the Palestinian war machine. They were all on their heels. That's why there wasn't a war when Donald Trump was president between the Nazi terrorists and the Iranian Nazi regime and the Israelis. And the Israelis today are paying with their lives. I told you, I'm not candy coating a damn thing around here, and I'm not going to. Now, what do I mean that Biden rebuilt the Iranian war machine? Well, the $6 billion is in this account, and it'll be that account. Okay, forget about the $6 billion. Although the idea that a president of the United States would give $6 billion, or allowed to be given, to the Iranian regime that threatens the United States of America, that's unleashing holy Nazi-like hell on the Jewish people in Israel, and is threatening to get nukes, that's insane in and of itself. Iran's illicit oil exports hit 5-year high. Free beacon, Adam Cradle. How is that possible? We have sanctions on their oil. How is that possible? Trump put sanctions in there. Well, Biden didn't exactly lift them, but he's not enforcing them. Listen to this. Iranian oil exports, a principal source of income for Tehran's cash-strapped regime, increased by 35% from 2021 to 2022. Gee, who was president then? Indicating that the Biden administration is not enforcing sanctions meant to prevent these sales. Oh, there's more. Get ready. I bet you haven't heard this all day. Amid this uptick in Iranian aggression, the Biden administration has failed to enforce sanctions on Tehran's oil trade, which benefits China, Syria, Venezuela. Iranian oil sales stood at $44 billion as of August 2022, a 77% increase from Trump's last year in office, with analysis attributing the rise to President Biden's, quote, terminally lax sanctions enforcement. Although the Biden administration has been armed with the intelligence information to seize at least 6 illicit Iranian oil ships in recent months, it has detained 1 ship in the past year, likely to appease Tehran amid diplomatic talks to restart the 2015 nuclear deal. Biden has also provided sanction waivers, permitting Iran access to $10 billion that was frozen in Iraq. Oh, but that $6 billion in that account and that account. Biden is funding Iran and rebuilt their damn military after Trump had it on its back. Let's be honest. Now, the fact is that sanctions relief to Iran is fungible. And Iran has been using these resources to go from, listen to this, America, this affects us, 2% enriched uranium and not installing advanced centrifuges under the Trump administration to racing towards nuclear weapons under Biden, becoming a nuclear threshold state enriching more than 60% enriched uranium. 2% to 60%. Can you imagine if the Iranian Tehran Nazi regime had nuclear weapons today? Because that's what's coming. And then Biden has secret negotiations with the Iranians. Congress can't even get access to the information other than 8 or so people. They keep saying, what are you negotiating? We need to know what's going on. And they keep pushing them away, pushing them away. I don't have to tell you anything, the administration tells Congress. Then they pick exactly the wrong guy, this guy named Malloy, to negotiate, who's sympathetic with the Iranians. And now, of course, he doesn't even have a classified, clearance. What's that all about? I'm just getting started. Biden reverses Trump policy on aid to Palestinians. Fox News. fails to condemn recent terror wave against Israel. Our enemies see all this. They see appeasement. Am I not supposed to talk about Biden appeasement? Was Churchill not supposed to talk about appeasement? Oh, Mark, you're being political. No, I'm telling you the truth. President Biden reaffirmed his commitment to a two-state solution. You know what a two-state solution is for Israel? It's the final solution. Look, that's just Gaza. You're going to have two states? What are they going to have, an air force? Are they going to have missile silos? What's this second state going to look like? And announced plans to bolster U.S. financial aid to the Palestinian people, reversing multiple policies implemented by, that horrible Donald Trump. During his comments, the president touched upon his administration's plans to implement a series of economic and confidence-building measures aimed at improving daily life for Palestinian people living in the West Bank, Gaza, but he stopped short of condemning Palestinian terrorism. Gee willikers. The president also said the U.S. would increase financial contributions to the controversial UN agency, UNRWA, that supports and advocates for Palestinian refugees, adding another $200 million to its budget to become the largest donor country. You see, the Palestinians want their refugees. They want their people poor because the head of the Palestinian regimes, whether it's the Authority, whether it's Hamas, they ruin their people. You basically have mobster-type Nazi thugs running everything. All the money comes through them. They divide their economies up. They have relatives, they have consiglieres that run everything. But look at this one, Newsweek. Biden's Taylor Force betrayal. What's that all about? Joe Biden's recent gift of $235 million, boy, he's pouring the money out, in aid to the Palestinians violates the spirit of the Taylor Force Act. It betrays the memory of Taylor Force himself. Who was he? He was a West Point graduate, U.S. Army veteran and graduate student at Vanderbilt University. He was 28 years old when he was murdered in Israel by a Palestinian terrorist named Bashar Maha on March 8, 2016. Maha wounded 10 others in his attack before being killed by the Israeli police. His family immediately attained celebrity status. Oh, under Abbas. That's the Palestinian Authority, the good ones, Celebrity status. And you know what they awarded him? They awarded his parents a big pension. Much of it paid with our tax dollars. So Congress said that's enough. So did President Trump. 2 years later, the Taylor Force Act was signed into law, ending all future aid to the Palestinian Authority unless and until the practice of rewarding terrorists and their families through the Martyrs Fund is ended. They didn't end it. So Trump put an end to it. And guess what? Joe Biden is ignoring the Taylor Force Act. And so the money continues to flow. The new funding was just one part of Biden's apparent plan to reverse all of Donald Trump's Palestinian-related policies. And then look at this. Just the other day, New York Times. Democrats tell Biden Saudi-Israel pact needs concessions for Palestinians. Here's Israel and the Saudi crown prince, this close to a peace deal. And Biden interrupts and says, not so fast. We need concessions to the Palestinians. Democrats, 20 Democrat senators signed a letter. No. No deal until there's more concessions to the Palestinians. Folks, I'm about sick and tired of candy coating all this stuff. Let me cut to the chase. The Biden administration has helped arm up the Iranian regime, helped to arm up Hamas, which gets support from the Iranian regime, helped to arm up Hezbollah, which gets support from the Iranian regime, and all the rest of it. And Joe Biden, in large measure, is responsible for it. And 1.5 years to go with this administration. We can only pray to God that the Iranian regime doesn't have nuclear weapons until this man can be removed from office, God willing.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.